Greetings everybody and welcome to Thursday Night Fights here on G4G. Host is Napalm Dawn. The game is Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux. This time we are in beta 5.9 as the gear that I am using for this particular video I have not earned yet in my beta 6.04 save. Missing the PowerPoint today, but the disclaimer is as follows and is the usual disclaimer that I give. There is not a mobile version for this particular game. That does include everything that isn't Windows, whether it is Chromebook or iOS or Android. There is no plans for a mobile version yet. There may down the road at some point in time be a potential possibility of an Android version because Unity can be compiled for Android with an Android SDK plugin to Unity. It is possible. iOS is not really possible, even though it can be compiled for iOS. That is for professional developers, as you don't sideload on iOS unless you were jailbroken. So we would never produce a IPA version or an iOS version. If you do want to play this mobile, you're going to have to get a Windows device like a Asus RG Ally or a Lenovo Legion Go or an MSI Claw, any ones like that. It can be played on a Steam Deck if you know how to manipulate Proton. The other thing is, if you actually have a computer, you can of course always add it to Steam and then put Steam Link on anything that is mobile, like a Steam Deck or even a phone or a tablet. But in that case, you still at least need to have something that is Windows based where you can import the game into your Steam, so to speak. As always, there is no ETA yet on beta 6, but I'm working really hard with the development team to get a couple videos out to you guys that kind of explains where the team is and what things have been fixed since 5.2, what things still maybe have yet to be fixed. Trying to get a little bit of an update to you guys in that regard, so I'm just waiting for an answer from the development team. We still have a little social event that we need to get put together, and I'll get a video out on that. If you haven't seen the video from a couple weeks ago, I did a video on the one-shot mode, which is a brand new game mode for Redux. Was never in the original playdown version of Marvel Avengers Alliance, and it will be featured in beta 6. Before there is any commentary on that in regards to why is there new game modes being added when there's still bugs to be fixed, it's because there are silos in the development team. The people who work on the hard coding part of it and bug fixing aren't the people who are working on the plot and new characters, editing sprites, new graphics, etc., etc. They put out their things separate from the coders who are working on the bugs, and when all of the progression bugs and the game stopping bugs and everything get fixed, beta 6 can be put out, and because you'll be able to go through all the chapters, all the spec ops for season 1, recruit all the heroes and everything. I can tell you, as a bit of an update, when I was playing 5.5 and 5.6, literally a year ago, almost to the day, there were certain characters that were unrecruitable when going through the story because for some reason they either weren't recruitable or there was a boss that you needed to fight in a chapter and the boss was bugged. They have been fixed in 5.9 and 6.0. Everybody that you recruit through the story, in other words, the standard missions over here, chapters 1 through 12 and everything, all of the general release heroes, as they're called, are recruitable. So I can tell you that is something that has been fixed in a year. Those bugs are done, and in 5.9 and 6.0 they certainly work. Spec Ops still has some things that need to be worked on. So today we are doing a little bit of a flaming team over here. You're going to see Annihilus Human Torch, and you are going to see Phoenix Jean Grey. I will show you how their ISOs are right now. I'm kind of thinking maybe I wanted to do Human Torch in Bruiser form for this one, simply because Jean was already a blaster. I could do her Tactician. I was thinking maybe her blaster, Human Torch Bruiser, specifically for what I plan to do to poor Johnny in these fights, if it actually works out. I tried it in practice, but everybody died before the plan went off. So we're gonna experience this together over here. But here's Johnny's stats. He is full bars health, 4 bar stamina, full attack, full accuracy, and evasion. Evasion is kind of the way to work with him because he already has the blazing speed, which helps him get missed attacks coming his way. So I leaned into evasion. There is a logic to saying, well, since he does his own evasion with blazing speed, why don't you just go defense, so if anything does get by the evasion, it doesn't hurt him. Valid. Absolutely valid commentary. You can build him that way. And Jean is not optimally built right now, but I'm not tweaking it. Her health is a little low. Her stamina and attack are good. Her accuracy is good. Doing the PKB method of picking defense or evasion, not and or, just simply defense or evasion, her stats really have none of that. So she's a little bit of a glass cannon right now, but that's okay because you're gonna watch what I do to poor Johnny. Rocket Pistol is here because of burning. Let's face it, in Season 1, Rocket Pistol is a bit of a crutch. It works everywhere. It's great single target damage, good splash damage. It puts out bleeding, which enables a bunch of teams. It puts out burning, which enables a bunch of teams, including what you're seeing here. It's just a really good way to go. If you want to be more original, there's definitely some stuff you can get in there. I think even the Army of One would be valid, but the Army of One just does not seem to do what the Rocket Pistol does. We have the Touch of Madripoor, which is pyrophoric. That is not particularly hard to get. You can get it from Spec Ops number 6, so it's about halfway through Season 1 Spec Ops. You have the Cosmic Flame, which says the next attack that the person does, whether it's you or a friendly, will put out Soulfire. And then you have the Dark Sigil. I think there will be a little bit of a roar of approval from those watching the video over the Dark Sigil, as it is very, very powerful in PvP at this stage of the game. In terms of pyrophoric stuff, the only other things really available at this stage of the game is the Frozen Hell, and that comes from Spec Ops 4. It is a pyrophoric sword that also does burning, so it creates its own fire, and then it does pyrophoric. Pyrophoric is the static charge of flame, basically. You could also use the Touch of Flame and Shadow, which exploits burning, unlike the Dark Sigil, but it does single target burning and Dark Void, whereas the Dark Sigil does it AoE and even has the weak point, which is of course pretty nice. So there are some plans here. I can flame into the Rocket Pistol, which would then put out Soulfire on the shot instead of burning. That's good if I need to worry about single target, or I could flame into the Dark Sigil and put out Soulfire and Dark Void instead of burning and Dark Void. Lot of fun here, and as you know, Soulfire removes buff, so if buff removal was working properly in 5.9, this is a powerful combo over here. So let's get into it. The reason why I'm doing this team is because there is a bit of a bug in 5.9. I haven't tried it yet in 6, but Phoenix's big level 9 is available even if somebody hasn't died. So this is basically a team of lots of flaming AoE and everything. And Human Torch, his Nova Blast is a desperation attack, so it means it does more damage the lower health he has. Maybe now you are kind of putting together what I'm going to do Remember how I said we're going to be abusing poor Johnny? Maybe you'll figure it out. You have several character actions over here before I do it, so if you want to put out your ideas down in the comments, go ahead. I'll give you just a moment for that. Meanwhile, I'm going to Cosmic Flame myself, because there's no bruisers over there. And now I'm going to open up with the Dark Sigil, which is really, really powerful. Guaranteed hit, burning, Dark Void, weak point, and burning is going to be converted into Soulfire. It would be really good if I did that after Doctor Strange went, just to see if he put up the terrorizing boost or shield. But yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. And there it is. There's the terrorizing boost. Maybe I should have had time for it. Okay, so this is the moment. This is where the plan gets started over here. We're going to mind link Human Torch. And for now, I'm going to open up with Phoenix Fire. It's going to piss off Doctor Strange, probably. Yeah, that's a little broken right now. It's doing a good amount of damage, and I should not be able to open up with it. Phoenix Flare is Human Torch's friend. His hit points are really, really high, so we're not going to try Nova Blast, but if we can exploit somebody's burning, which I think Doctor Strange might be the way to go. God damn, that's a fireball. The terrorizing boost isn't really helping this team as much as you might think. I'm going to fist the enemy agent. Wow. Wow, that was really high damage for that. Let's try and stun Ghost Rider, but it'll probably just die. Okay. So yet again, the plan has not come to fruition. If you have an evasion tank, somebody who has their own natural evasion, like, say, Scarlet Witch, or Nightcrawler, who has really, really good evasion, if you mind link them, it's sort of like phase tanking, but not exactly. You absolutely could take a big shot and be crushed. But when you have a high evasion person with some kind of an ability that provides natural evasion, and then you make them the tank, you might just watch a team full of people just whiffing away. This agent, Agent Flynn, he is very well known to me. He has lots of gear that is causing him a lot of self-damage, so I'm just going to give him a little tip. He'll probably die on this turn. Oh, nope. Nope, the bugs are gonna get him. Okay, no bruisers, so again, we can do an AoE, but this time I think, for giggles, I'm going to do it onto the rocket pistol. And go for Emma, because she's a tactician with a bunch of blasters around. So she gets the Soulfire. And so does Thor. This is a really, really dirty combo, and it's accessible fairly early into the game. I mean, this isn't, you know, maybe Season 1 stuff over here, but it's relatively accessible. He's still mind-linked, he's very healthy. I don't think I want to do Nova Blast yet. Of course, anytime he gets on fire, he's just going to regenerate his own health. It might be really, really tough to get Human Torch low in order to try this. Fireball Thor, and my god. Unlock potential is a move that's a relatively strong move. And doing a migraine, weakening everybody, is a valiant attempt. I mean, she has 365 hit points left. If Phoenix just sneezed near her, I think Emma would fall over, diamond form or not. So we'll just put her out of misery. I'm going to do the Nova Blast at some point, but I think we're maybe not going to get the ideal scenario for it. We just seem way too strong for this. So 2-0, no big pressure. We finally have a bruiser. bad for my agent, but it's good for everybody else. This agent does protect, so I'm going to try to stop. And the agent is a bruiser too, by the way. Ah, there's the mind link. So the mind link actually worked. Okay, cool. So that's step one. The next thing we want to do, because I do want a little bit of a challenge. I too like to live dangerously. I'm going to piss off the bruisers, but it'll be worth it. By the way, eventually when ISOs come around, AISOs and EISOs come around, you can get a ISO for Human Torch that says his attacks are pyrophoric, so that would make him fit into this even better. Yeah, he's like back up to full health. Kind of makes me think maybe like him and Wolverine would make a very, very interesting duo. The rocket pistol would tie them together, burning and bleeding. Wolverine would like bleeding, he likes the burning. Or maybe even him and Human Torch and Doctor Strange might be tough to take down. Shield him when he gets low, terrorizing boost. He might be completely unstoppable. Let's try Nova Blast, see what it does at nearly full health. Reasonable. I feel like I'm more than anybody else. That's really interesting. Now I'm gonna have Phoenix do it just for fun. Yeah. So that's kind of the idea of the team is Johnny and Jean just blowing up for fun. Should Jean be blowing up like that? No, it's a bug. But hey, we have fun here. All right, 3-0. No big deal so far. Okay, Quicksilver Hulk, and the Protector is showing. I'm going to Ring of Fire because we might get a melee attack. Actually, this is a very good Ring of Fire. I would love to see Ring of Fire reworked, or maybe an AISO that adjusts Ring of Fire sometime in the future that... Because what Ring of Fire does is it says that, okay, you're going to take some fire damage if you attack with melee. Like, why would you ever do that? Yes, I'm predicting that this person may do a melee attack, but then why don't I just make them burning regardless? Like, why don't I just hit them with the flame stream? I think either the damage needs to be increased from Ring of Fire, or... maybe if the person does, if you get lucky and the person does do melee, that Ring of Fire explodes and splashes to the remaining teammates and everything. I think there should be something to make it useful, because right now I don't really see a good use for the move. It's risk, but really not much reward. Only one bruiser over there. That's Hulk. Everybody's burning, everybody's bleeding, everybody with Kung Fu fighting Soulfire. And yes, as you can see, Quicksilver is bugged. He was not first in combat. He's not taking 2 turns. So there's that. By the way, when you use Mind Link, you do get focused, which is one of the rising up buffs, so don't forget about that. I'm going to attempt to stun Hulk just for fun. Let's see if we get him stunned. Plus she gains her crits. We know how this is going to happen. If I fireball Hulk, he's going to be knocked into another universe. So I'm just going to try and pick Quicksilver instead. Oh god! Wow. Yeah. What can I say? Utterly speechless. Oh, okay. Now we've got a low Human Torch. So, sorry, kids. I wanted to do it. Mr. Rogers really wanted to show you that train set today, but everybody lived. Okay, 4-0. Last fight. Let's see if we can get at least one really desperate Nova attack in the year. I'm just gonna pass Johnny's turn. Let's try and set this up a little bit for the last fight of the video. I do feel bad. I feel absolutely bad for Flynn. He just kills himself with his gear. There is a reduction in the dot damage. Ooh. Johnny's gonna love that. Okay. Mind Link. Past the turn. So Johnny is really, really healthy. It's probably not going to be a big Nova Blast unless Emma does something. Oh, Mental Anguish, which goes off after the attack, which kind of sucks, but I'm hurt a little bit, so let's see what we get out of this. It's reasonable. It's a good put away when people... Okay, now it'd be fun to see what would happen if I did it this turn. I'm gonna fist somebody. Oh, apparently got a follow-up. Oh, because of Flint. Okay. Pass. Let's see what happens here. She recharges. Does the blast have to go down? Interesting. He healed from... Huh. Immune to most fire attacks. Converts burning into flame on. But he's burning. Yeah, unfortunately, Nova Blast has a cooldown, so alright. Goodbye, Thor. Or not goodbye, Thor. First time the fireball really hasn't obliterated somebody over here, so we're done screwing around with Sigil. Throw a rock. Okay. So it is a good concept to try to mind link Human Torch into tanking and have him take all the hits, so potentially he gets low for a really, really big Nova Blast. In theory, though, with the amount of burning that we were seeing and everything, Johnny was staying relatively healthy, so it was tough to get him low. And plus, with the 3-round cooldown, if you gamble on like a mid or higher health Nova Blast explosion, it's probably going to do reasonable damage, but not great. It would have been nice if we could get him to blast somewhere around 1,000 or 2,000 hit points, but it was tough to set that up. But the fiery redhead team that we've got over here, as you can see, pretty much was not challenged the whole way through. It doesn't help that we saw Agent Flynn a few times there. And he's self-immolating at the start of every combat anyway. Just a small nudge gets that guy killed. To his own dots, really. But this is a good set of gear right here. This gear is really, really powerful, especially as a setup to Johnny's crit fireball. If you can get people on fire before Human Torch takes his turn, and he can just start with a fireball, he's probably going to kill somebody. Honestly, even in the later stages of Season 1, and then if the Control Rod procs, as you saw, the Annihilation Wave comes in and polishes them off. But this is definitely a fun team. This is pretty accessible gear. The Rocket Pistol, of course, is sold in the store for gold. And the rest of the stuff is just farmable. 2 Spec Ops items and a story item. And if you don't have the Spec Ops open yet for the Touch of Madripoor, go farm the Hand of Touch and Shadow, which is basically Dark Sigil just as single target. But yeah, Cosmic Flame is a lot of fun. A lot of applications for that. You can turn any in AoE into Soulfire, and when Soulfire is working properly and remove buffs, very, very powerful in combat. And same thing for weak point. Dark Sigil does not mess around, and I can tell you guys, when you get beta 6 and you start seeing Dark Sigil show up on the teams you're fighting, yeah, get your butthole ready, get it clenched. So that is it for Thursday night fights. We won't do a bonus fight tonight, not needed, as it was tough to execute the plan to perfection despite the fact that we kicked everybody's ass. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you Tuesday over on the Twitch stream at about 3 p.m. Eastern. Have a good one, everybody.